Welcome back to our channel, soap fans. Today is a phenomenal day to dive deep into the scandalous, high-stakes world of Los Angeles fashion. We have exclusive, explosive spoilers that will change everything you thought you knew about your favorite characters. The drama is reaching an absolute boiling point, and the impending fallout will be nothing short of catastrophic. Let's get right into the heart of the action. The heavy oak doors of the Forrester Creations CEO office slam shut, sealing two shattered souls inside a room thick with the sharp scent of expensive scotch and raw, unfiltered desperation. Steffi Forrester Finnegan, fresh off a grueling, tear-soaked transatlantic flight from a Monaco nightmare, drops her designer bags onto the pristine floor. Her eyes, usually sparkling with fierce, unyielding Forrester pride, are hollow, haunted by the chilling image of Sheila sunbathing on the Riviera. Across the dimly lit room, Carter Walton sits cloaked in the shadows. The company's top executive and legendary fixer is entirely broken, a half-empty bottle of liquor serving as his only companion in the suffocating silence. This is not the setup for a steamy, forbidden office romance. This is the breeding ground for a lethal, irreversible pact. When two powerful people have absolutely nothing left to lose, the fragile rules of morality vanish into the Los Angeles smog. Steffi marches toward the bar and pours herself a massive drink, her hand trembling not from sorrow, but from a feral, untamed rage. She looks at Carter, really looks at him, and sees the exact same dangerous, echoing emptiness staring back at her. The vibe vibrating between them in this cavernous room is not seductive. It is downright murderous. Steffi has just survived the ultimate betrayal. She hurled her wedding ring directly at John Finn Finnegan's chest on that sun-drenched beach, realizing with sickening clarity that her husband had packed his mother's toxic secret alongside their luggage. Finn knew Sheila was trailing them across the globe, and his guilty, cowardly silence told Steffi everything she needed to know. The marriage is bleeding out on the floor, and Steffi is left grappling with the agonizing reality that Sheila will never, ever stop hunting her family. Carter Walton takes another burning swig from his glass, his own world having imploded spectacularly. The man who fixes everyone else's problems is utterly powerless to fix his own fractured reality. Daphne Rose Walton, the love of his life, has fled across the world to Paris, completely paralyzed by the devastating diagnosis of premature ovarian insufficiency. Carter is drowning in a toxic cocktail of grief, rejection, and profound loneliness. He is a man unmoored, stripped of his dreams of a traditional family, and dangerously reckless. As Steffi paces the floor, ranting about the monster who continues to terrorize her children, Carter listens with a dark, terrifying intensity. The spoilers tease that Steffi is going to ask something unimaginable of Carter. She does not want a shoulder to cry on. She wants a permanent solution. The intoxicating mix of alcohol, heartbreak, and pure adrenaline is pushing them toward a killer deal. Is Carter Walton preparing to cross the ultimate line and eliminate Sheila for good? While Steffi and Carter plot in the shadows of the executive suite, Finn is in a frantic, desperate tailspin. The good doctor boards the very next commercial flight to Los Angeles, his heart pounding out of his chest as he realizes the catastrophic magnitude of his mistake. He is desperate to reach Steffi before it is too late, but the damage is already done. The trust has been shattered into a million jagged pieces. Midweek spoilers reveal that Steffi will severely grapple with the concept of forgiving Finn. Every time she closes her eyes, she sees Sheila's smug face on that Monaco beach. Even if Finn begs on his hands and knees, even if he swears his undying loyalty, the Sheila situation is a ticking time bomb that will inevitably detonate again. Steffi is trapped in an emotional prison, torn between the deep love she holds for the father of her child and the primal, fierce instinct to protect her family at any lethal cost. Thousands of miles away, the tragedy of the Walton marriage reaches a devastating crescendo. Later in the week, Carter finally manages to reach Daphne on the phone in Paris. The transatlantic connection is fraught with agonizing silence and quiet, heartbreaking sobs. Daphne is utterly convinced that she is broken, that her early menopause diagnosis makes her unworthy of the incredible man she married. In her grief-stricken mind, she genuinely believes that Carter deserves a wife with fully functioning ovaries, a woman who can effortlessly give him the biological children he has dreamed of his entire life. It is a tragic, self-sacrificing narrative, but Daphne is entirely consumed by it. Carter pleads with her, his voice cracking with desperation, but the distance between them is far more than just geographical. They engage in a gut-wrenching conversation that strips away all their previous hopes and dreams. The spoilers confirm that Carter and Daphne finally come to an understanding. This is not a joyful reconciliation. This is not a passionate vow to fight through the darkness together. This is a tearful, agonizing acceptance of their shattered reality. It sounds like a definitive separation, a mutual agreement to stop fighting the inevitable and allow each other to breathe in the wreckage. Daphne needs time, space, and distance to mourn her body's betrayal, leaving Carter entirely alone in Los Angeles. This devastating closure is the exact catalyst that pushes Carter deeper into Steffi's dark, vengeful orbit. He has nothing left to protect, making him the most dangerous man in the city. Meanwhile, across town at the gleaming offices of Spencer Publications, another fierce matriarch is preparing for war. Katie Logan Spencer is officially on the warpath, and she has her razor-sharp sights locked directly on Melissa Dillon. Katie is a woman whose instincts are rarely wrong, and every single alarm bell in her head is screaming that Dillon is a toxic, opportunistic predator. The initial confrontation between the two women yielded nothing but defiant smirks and empty denials, so Katie is escalating her tactics. She is launching a full-scale, aggressive investigation into Melissa Dillon's shadowy past. Katie is determined to dig up every buried skeleton, every hidden agenda, and every dirty secret this girl is desperately trying to conceal. Katie's protective maternal instincts are in overdrive, and she refuses to sit back while her son is manipulated. She storms into the beach house, cornering her hot mess of a son, Will Spencer. Will is staggering through the emotional wreckage of his shattered romance with Electra Forrester, drowning his sorrows and making catastrophic decisions. Katie unleashes a brutal, relentless reality check on him. She demands to know the truth with piercing intensity. If Will claims to love Electra so deeply, if he is truly heartbroken over their split, then why in the world is he hooking up with Electra's absolute best friend? Katie dissects the situation with surgical precision, pointing out the massive, glaring red flags waving right in front of Will's face. Katie forces Will to look at the ugly truth. What kind of so-called best friend would prioritize a quick hookup over a lifelong bond? Dillon's willingness to betray Electra for a taste of the Spencer lifestyle is a massive, neon warning sign of her true character. Will tries to defend himself, stammering out pathetic excuses about vulnerability and comfort, but Katie is unyielding. She is a powerhouse who will not allow her son to be used as a stepping stone by a greedy, calculating social climber. Katie's investigation is bound to uncover explosive truths, and when she finally gets the undeniable proof she needs, she is going to annihilate Melissa Dillon's grand plans. The tension is equally explosive back at the glamorous, glass-walled design rooms of Forrester Creations. Electra Forrester is absolutely feral, her heartbreak instantly calcifying into pure, vindictive rage. She marches right up to Melissa Dillon, the air crackling with toxic electricity. Electra pulls rank with ruthless authority, reminding her former best friend exactly who holds the power in this building. "I am Electra Forrester," she snarls, her voice dripping with venom. "If I wanted it, you're gone." It is the ultimate power play, a direct, undeniable threat of immediate termination. Electra wants Dillon thrown out of the building, stripped of her job, and banished from the Forrester legacy forever. However, the corporate world of high fashion is never that simple. Just as Electra prepares to pull the trigger and fire Dillon, upper management violently slams the brakes on her revenge plot. Forrester Creations is currently drowning in a massive public relations nightmare. The catastrophic fallout from the Monaco trip, the screaming match on the beach, the scandalous presence of Sheila, the sudden loss of a major international client, has left the company's reputation hanging by a fragile thread. The executives cannot afford another messy, public HR scandal right now. Elektra is ordered to stand down, swallow her pride, and just deal with Dylan's presence for the time being. Dylan flashes a smug, victorious, deeply infuriating smile. She has survived the firing squad, and the power dynamic in the office shifts into a highly volatile, dangerous standoff. In another wing of the Forrester building, the creative egos are clashing with spectacular intensity. R.J. Forrester, riding high on a wave of ambitious energy, decides to make a bold, aggressive move. He marches into the executive suite and pitches a brand new, cutting-edge youth line directly to Zend Forrester Dominguez. This is a massive, calculated risk. Zend is already simmering with deep, bitter resentment after his highly anticipated hope for the future collection was unceremoniously shelved by management. Zend feels entirely sidelined, underappreciated, and creatively stifled. Now, the anointed golden boy of the Forrester family is stepping right onto his territory, pitching ideas as if he owns the place. The tension between the two designers is palpable, a fierce, underlying rivalry that threatens to tear the design team apart from the inside out. RJ is determined to prove his worth, but Zend is a ticking time bomb of creative frustration, ready to explode at the slightest provocation. As the chaotic, emotionally exhausting week draws to a close, all these volatile storylines violently collide under the neon lights of the infamous bikini bar. While Spencer, desperate to escape his mother's relentless interrogations and the suffocating guilt of his own actions, walks into the bar seeking a moment of peace. By his side is Melissa Dillon, clinging to him with opportunistic desperation. But there is no peace to be found in Los Angeles. Sitting right across the room, illuminated by the dim, moody lighting, are R.J. Forrester and Elektra Forrester. The moment their eyes meet across the crowded room, the atmosphere instantly freezes. It is the ultimate, suffocatingly awkward encounter. The air is thick with unspoken betrayals, shattered friendships, and raw, bleeding jealousy. Elektra glares at Will, her eyes burning with a mix of profound heartbreak and absolute disgust, as she sees him standing with the woman who stabbed her in the back. RJ puffs out his chest, stepping protectively closer to Elektra, ready to defend her honor and assert his dominance over his Spencer rival. Dylan smirks, leaning closer to Will to mark her territory and twist the knife even deeper into Elektra's wounds. Will stands frozen, caught in the devastating crossfire of his own terrible choices. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife, an explosive standoff that promises to tear their entire social circle apart in the most spectacular, dramatic fashion imaginable. Will Steffi and Carter actually cross the ultimate, lethal line to eliminate Sheila? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, and brace yourselves for the fallout.